Welcome to Can Angels Fly. I'm Nancy, and today I'm here to call all Zodiac signs to huddle up. Come on, huddle up. Let's talk. First, I like to talk about the series I am making on depression. I know many of you are asking, oh, Nancy, are you suffering from depression? No, I'm not depressed. I have been depressed in my life. I've been very depressed in my life. But I'm going to say that for the series on depression. But I want to share why I decided to make the series, or am in the in progress of making a series on depression. It is because I believe that the time is coming that life is going to get challenging for us. And those challenges can lead many of us to have to deal with depression. So I wanted to create a series that addresses depression and will expose the spirit of depression, that monster, and give or grant a person that may suffer from depression as a result of some life challenges or hard knocks or difficulties or heartbreak, a go-to list that can help them, a person, through any difficult times. So that series I will gradually be creating. Now, I know that I can't just isolate one astrological energy because it is aspected to other parts of the chart. I have taken a look at the particular astrological energy that I will be discussing in this video, as it is aspected to other parts of the zodiac chart. But I'm not going into that detail in this video. I just want to focus on the governor. I'll say governor. And who is the governor, or the governing energy that I'm speaking about? It is Saturn. Now, just recently, we had a lot of planets pile up in Capricorn. And Saturn returned to Capricorn just recently as well. And so all of that energy piled up in Capricorn is creating experiences that govern over who's ours, mine, yours, and every individual in humanity's, some of our life experiences. And Saturn is very stern. He's a task master. He demands, or that energy demands, you to be disciplined. It demands that you be ordered. It demands that you be mature and you do what is necessary, all the hard work, and you are to carry all the responsibilities and duties associated with succeeding. No exceptions. And so Saturn is so demanding that it can lead a person to suffer from depression. In the real physical world, a person most likely won't even know what's going on. It probably won't even make any sense to them. Why? Because it's astrological energy playing out, motivating experiences, and requesting a response. But we don't know how to read the stars. We don't understand that there are governing energies, things or entities that are energies that are bigger than we are. Saturn being one of them. And so in this video, I'm just focusing on what all of those planets, especially Saturn and Capricorn, has been talking about relative to you as an individual. So I'm not talking about on a global level here. I'm talking about on an individual level. So I need you to huddle on in. Now in this video, I'm not going to go sign to sign, discussing exactly how these energies are talking to us, you, me, each individual in humanity. I'm going to attempt to kind of give you a general idea of what's taking place or will be taking place, especially over the next 2.5 years as Saturn moves slowly through its own house of Capricorn. And as Saturn moves slowly through its house of Capricorn, it aspects different parts of the astrological wheel. Creating, I'll just say generally, creating vibrations that keep you busy. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I was studying the astrological energies a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is the case. I'm not sure. At that point, I felt like I needed somebody to come check my work. So I just threw it to the side. And so I kept thinking over it and going over and over again. And it's like, I'm still not sure. I am an amateur astrologer. I said, well, Nancy, I'll tell you what. Before you share what you see, just pay attention to real life, real time, your reality, and see if it plays out. And sure enough, it's been playing out ever since. Let me see. Where did I go? How do I begin to explain how I received my confirmation of a successful or the successful interpretation of what I was studying? Here, right here and now, I'll begin to speak about the basics relative to that Saturn energy. Now, we know that Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. We know that Saturn and Uranus are the rulers to Aquarius. Each sign in the zodiac wheel has aspect or angle to the 10th house of Capricorn as well as the 11th house of Aquarius. And so that tells of how the energies are working together. I gotta say that. Anywho, let's focus on Capricorn and Aquarius. With Saturn as their ruler, Saturn is a direct teacher for Capricorn and Aquarius. We can say that Saturn is a spiritual guru, master teacher. And some teachers are like really tough on certain students. In this case, what students am I talking about? Yep, Capricorn and Aquarius. Some fun facts about Saturn is that Saturn transits throughout everyone's chart, every individual in humanity. Saturn, for each individual, returns to the house in which it was sitting at the time of a person's birth between 28 and 30 years. Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn, is shared. And what's the other? Saturn, that's why it's important to write notes. Maybe I'll think of it. And in this case, we have Saturn return to his home of Capricorn. It's gone through the whole Zodiac sign and is back in Capricorn now. Again, for another 2.5 years. So what does that mean? Now, I can't go. I will be all night trying to break everything down. But I want to explain this energy. I forgot something, but anyway, Saturn's students that it or he is hardest on is Aquarius and Capricorn. Aquarius and Capricorn get direct teachings from Saturn. And so now that he's back home, what does it mean for Saturn to be back home in Capricorn? It means that that energy is coming to check to see, have you learned? Have you learned? Who is he asking, have you learned? Well, he's asking everybody in humanity, me, you, and every individual in humanity, have you learned the lessons that I, Saturn, have been teaching you? For Capricorn and Aquarius, Saturn is saying, hey, have you learned? And the answer better be yes. And why do I say the answer better be yes? It's because Saturn has taken so much time with Capricorn and Aquarius that we should have or understand what his energy has been teaching us. Remember, Saturn is about discipline, order, structure, being responsible, carrying all the responsibilities and duties. It's about being efficient and effective and practical. Taskmaster, hard work. If you got to do it again, then you do it again. You're going to do it and you're going to do it right, no matter how long it takes. You can find yourself paying penalties if you do not. You can find yourself in repetitive cycles of the same thing if you do not apply the rule or apply the appropriate tactics necessary to be successful in a particular field. It can bring you what? Repetitive experiences over and over again. Again, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You get all the time in the world. With Saturn, we can do this over and over and over again. So, what am I trying to say? For Capricorn or Capricorn and Aquarius, to not understand, to not have learned, at this particular time can be detrimental, very, very challenging. That's why I decided to begin to create the series on depression. Because it's like, if a Capricorn or the person under the Capricornian energy or the Aquarian energy say through their behavior or responses to life circumstances or situation, I don't know what to do. I don't know the rules to the game. I haven't learned how to reframe or to be efficient or to be practical. You tell Saturn that and say, okay, repeat, repeat, repeat. So I guess that's what I need to deal with before I talk about anything else. Repeat. Repeat of experiences or similar experiences will be happening definitely over the next 2.5 years at least. Repeat. Repeat. Things that you think you've resolved, repeat. And why is this happening? And this is to all signs, but remember, it's like highlighted or especially toward Capricorn and Aquarius, because these are the students that Capricorn have dealt with directly, been teaching since birth. And so, you know, when you get to be like my age, how can I say this? When you get to be my age, I've already been through my first Saturn return, headed toward the second one. Saturn transits my chart as it does everyone's. Saturn is returned home now. What is the other one? Saturn rules me. And all that Saturn has been teaching me becomes solidified if I was paying attention. If you were paying attention. That's why I didn't want to do this video, but it's important. Oh man, so important. It's a lot of information. So I was trying to slim it down. Let me see. Some signs, I don't have my stuff with me, but some signs do not get a direct hit from Saturn. So it could be like in the physical world, a person that witnesses something. You learn a lesson vicariously through seeing another go through it, or hearing about it, or being at their side for aid, in some way, but you learn about it. An example is, say, for instance, the commercials, everybody, schools, government say no to drugs. Okay. Well, you say, okay, the motto or whatever, say no to drugs, but you don't understand why. But in your life, you see a aunt or somebody like that, or a neighbor get strung out on drugs, and you see their life being devastated and destroyed, and then you finally understand what it means. Just say no to drugs, So you learn that lesson vicariously through them. You see that they are slowly being withering away, or their life is being destroyed. They're losing everything. They may have, seem like they lost their mind or something like that. And so you just come to understand why it's so important to say no to drugs. And so it's not just a saying anymore. It becomes real to you. So you go out in your life and you're living, you hanging out with your friends, they partying and drinking. Somebody goes to pass you something, pass you a joint or something. In your mind, you say, I say no to drugs. And so that is the kind of energy that Saturn is checking for. So it is like test. Will be tested is what I'm trying to get you to see. But like when it comes to Capricorn and Aquarius, the same experiences you've been having will reoccur. If not the exact same, very similar situations will crop up. Because it's like Saturn is just asking us, have you learned? Now, Saturn is the straight up headbanger. And if a person with a direct hit, like Capricorn and Aquarius, there are some other signs that are hit as well, but not directly, like Capricorn and Aquarius. If life has been, you keep having these experiences and challenges, and you've dealt with them. Have you dealt with them? Have you learned how to deal with them? I'm going to give you a TMI. This is the best I can do, I think, a TMI. Me. I share here on YouTube that I was set up. My neighbors tried to sue me. I was in court for a year. Now, I got other things going on in my chart, other aspects. So I wasn't financially able to retain an attorney. But due to earlier life transits, as well as my natal setup, in the course of my life, I have developed a considerable level of intellect. I call myself a Jill of all trades. So when I was met with that particular challenge, the lawsuit, it wasn't the first time that I had been challenged in such a way. So I'm trying to say. All that I know to do right now has developed over many, many years from many, many challenges, all of which I was successful at overcoming every challenge. Look back in retrospect. Depression was a part of it, not understanding where it was coming from. But I did what was required of me in the moment. And this is all aspects of my life. Overcoming, jumping over one obstacle after the other. I was being trained. Saturn. So when this last episode happened, of course, I was frazzled. Sought to retain an attorney and realized that I couldn't afford it. The next thing was to activate all the skills that I had developed in my life from all those other crazy experiences that I had conquered. It was a slow, very slow progression of learning, of being trained, being disciplined, being ordered, getting structure, maturing, all those demands of Saturn, I did. So here comes this big old case that I couldn't get an attorney to fight for me. And again, I repeat, I was able to call upon all the skills I had developed in my 46.5 years. Over the course over a year. I battled shoulder to shoulder with the professional attorneys. I was working on my case. It was some 12, sometimes 18 hours per day for a year at least. And I came out victorious once again. But had I not learned the lessons, learned the rules to the game, and come to understand when to apply them. And then keep in mind, I'm also an Aquarius, air sign, communications, documents, writing, forms, all those kind of things, being able to speak publicly, all those things were my tools to overcome this or that recent, what does it call it? Previously recent life challenge. I hope I'm making this make sense. But I bring that story up, TMI, to show how it has taken everything I developed in the 46-year plus span I used to defend myself in the case against professionals and came out victorious. That is what Capricorn is demanding of us all, especially Capricorn and Aquarius. Now, this could play out in any aspect of your life. It depends on the placements of your planets and, how they relate to each other. It could be you've been in and out of a relationship over and over again. Maybe one time you were out and you might have depended on that other. After the relationship went through the rocky time, you had to get out and get your own job. You could no longer depend on the other. From that moment, it didn't matter if you tried to quit, got laid off, whatever. You end up finding another job. You were being trained. The next time the relationship breaks down, you find yourself homeless. By the time you got up back on your feet, you owned your own home, you was in your own place, and the lease or deed had your name on it. So it kept going on like that. You had to learn something. And when you successfully implemented what universal energy was teaching you, things leveled out. You could be in a job and you've been in that job for years wondering why you ain't getting promoted. Matter of fact, you getting demoted. Why are you getting demoted? You had to figure something out. When you implemented whatever was necessary, whether you needed more education, you needed to build your social network, your skill base, whatever you did it, you got promoted. Then same thing again, you still stuck at that same ranking level, whatever. You may have had to switch jobs, do seminars, work a little extra, whatever the case may be. And then you end up getting a boss level or, management position. If you fail to continue to enhance yourself, you may have found yourself stagnated or once again demoted. It got caught up in some type of or facing type of disciplinary actions that didn't make sense to you, that came on because of maybe some issues with a coworker or something like that. What I'm pointing out is what the astrological energies are asking us to do relative to Saturn. Why he's home. He's checking on us all. Now, some of us, as I mentioned, are getting a direct hit from Saturn. Some hits are a little lesser and come in different ways or manners. It also, you might catch some real direct energy hits and lessons from Saturn when you between that 28 and 30, or that, what is it, 58 and 60, and whatever the next one is, 84 or something like that. You get some real direct hits because Saturn is directly coming to sit and educate you, that kind of thing. And then there are the transits, the indirect hits you've again witnessed or experienced something vicariously through someone else, but you learn. Now is the time to apply it. Saturn is coming to check to see, are we applying what we've learned? If not, remember, Saturn is the headbanger. So what I'm trying to say is that things for some of us aren't going to get any easier unless we do the work, unless we identify what we need to do, what we need to apply. We need to do the hard work. We need to be practical, mature, disciplined, ordered, structured. Maybe you can't go out partying all night long. Energy will let you know. Energy will let you know. From health issues, that might be something like that. Leos may deal with having health issues because you're not applying the rules that fit your scenario, and you're staying up late or staying out gambling, or you're being too risky. You're just not thinking things through. Some of you, the older you are, you can say, I've been there before, and I understand that some risks have to be calculated risks. Calculated risk, not just reckless risk. So that's the kind of thing Saturn is coming to check on us about. So, like for instance, I brought up risk taking. So, let's say you're a youngster, experience come up for you to have, and it's risky. Well, somewhere along the way, like for instance, I'm gonna take it to the street. You're a dope boy or a dope girl or something like that. Or you in the street and you know some dope boys, dope girls. And, that's a risky life. And you just seen your homeboy, homegirl get locked down. For doing what? Selling dope. And so you get loaned your money, might lose your job, whatever kind of things. This is the kind of experience that can manifest in a person's life. This is just an example. And you'd be like, well, dang, I need to make a few dollars. I need to make them quick, rent due, light and gas, it's winter, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to sling a little bit for a short time. That's risky business. And so this is for the young folk. And so you go ahead and you take that risk. Well, guess what? Saturn energy is there to check to see. See, you young, you might not know, but it's saying, okay, when you were gainfully employed or you had some funding coming through, what you do with that money? Did you put some in a savings account? Did you pay in advance? Do you have a budget? All these things Saturn was looking at, like, how did you get where you are? What didn't you do to ensure that you did not get to this rough spot? But now you're in the rough spot. Now you got to do something reckless. Okay? Go ahead. And right there, Saturn is going to have a disciplinary action for you to correct you. Now, you get a little older. You're still to somebody, let's say in their 30s, hitting their 30s. You've been there, done that before. You've seen your people come and go in and out the judicial system, the jail, penitentiary, whatever, slinging dope. You know what it's all about. You might have did it a couple of times, and by your bra, you got away with it. Now here it comes again. Here it comes again. You still hadn't been budgeting. You still hadn't been managing, whatever the case may be. Now you're back in a hard spot again. So you go to sling something or do something, that is, again, risk-taking. Guess what? Saturn going to be there again with another disciplinary act. And possibly this could become, for some, strike two. It's that kind of thing. And understand, the older you get, the more impact Saturn has had on your life. It is expected or anticipated that you, again, have learned. You have learned. You better, in this case, you better find another way to get that money, or you better find a way not to even get into that position that leads you to feel like you gotta go take this risk. Because I'm letting you know, the Saturn energy letting you know, I got a disciplinary act for you. The older you get, you come to understand what it's about. The older you get, the more mature you get, you come to understand that there are some disciplinary acts or effects or outcomes for what you do. And many of them are very hard and difficult. So you know that you have come to a place in your life when you can say, I seen that person go to prison for doing this or jail for doing this, this, and that. And I'm not even going to try to cross that bridge. I ain't going nowhere near it. I am going to follow the rules, be disciplined, order, mature, whatever, because I'm not trying to deal with that. But, you know, life is a heck of a school. In the course of your life, you've been learning whatever it is that you had to learn. And when the time comes in your life, a challenge comes, that you are able to take what you have learned in the course of your life to assist you into being successful or overcoming that situation. That's what Saturn is looking for. I point again to Capricorn and Aquarius. That's what Saturn is looking for. You have gathered enough information. You know how to apply it, and you know how to apply it effectively and to be successful in a particular or any given situation or circumstance in your life. The older you get, the better you better be. If not, remember, Saturn doesn't change its character. He's a headbanger. And so it's like one strike, he'll bang your head, kind of tap you on your hand. Next time, hit you, put you in timeout. Third time, he crack your head open to the white meat. And so that's what we're dealing with this energy, if I'm making it make sense. I didn't write any notes. Again, it's even down to the signs that don't have a direct hit from Saturn. Or even those that are, it's just not a direct hit. It's still that you have experienced something, witnessed something. Again, that's that vicarious energy. You may, like for instance, you hang with someone and they may live a reckless life, and you know it, and you've seen them, or you've seen others go down while hanging with that person. They so reckless. Now that person may continue to get away with it, might not even care. They just might not have it all. But whoever hang with them go down, and you still keep hanging with them. And you'd have had them moments like, whew, by the sweat of your brow, you got away, or you didn't have to deal with the punishment, but you've seen it, you witnessed it. Guess what? Guess what? The energy brought on by Saturn saying, okay, let's see. Now it's your turn. Now you're the person hanging with this reckless person. Now it's your time because you know better. So now it's time for what? A disciplinary act. But for those that have learned, and you say, I'm not hanging with that fool. Every time that fool go out, they cause a problem or a situation. I've seen people go down with them. They pull up. You walking down the street, it's raining cats and dogs. You soaking wet. You may have to go to stand at the bus for an hour. They pull up, nice car, like hop on in. You can feel the heat blowing out the car. You be like, no, thank you. They're like, come on, why you gonna stay in the rain? Nope, I'm fine. I'm just gonna be out here relaxing in the rain. I just feel like, having some me time. They go ahead. Guess what? You just overcame a situation. How did you overcome it? Even though life was challenging at the moment, you standing in the rain. It's raining cats and dogs. You soaking wet. You cold. Everything. You got somewhere to go. You got some business to handle. That person that does some reckless business, and everybody that hang with them go down, come past and offer you a ride, and you consciously make a decision not to go with them because every time somebody get in the car with them or hang out with them, something happens. You make that conscious decision, and you will see. This is the thing. You're going to see it. Like, for instance, that person can drive off, and you hear about them picking somebody else up, and sure enough, both of them end up in jail or whatever the case. You be like, I made it through that one because I knew not to get in the car with them. See, that is a conscious decision. It's a conscious choice. And what I'm saying, that is, it was a mature decision. And you really save yourself. You cut your losses. Because in that case, there's no reason for any disciplinary act from Saturn because you handle it yourself. And so you get the benefit. What are you benefiting? You get to go where you need to go to handle your business rather than you being redirected due to someone else's recklessness and you end up in jail or in the hospital or whatever the case may be because of their foolishness. Again, this is the kind of energy that Saturn is bringing into our lives. And he's really checking to see, have we matured? And once again, it depends on how Saturn is relating to you in your birth chart, whether it's direct, indirect, if you've been through those Saturn returns every 28 to 30 years, and then what you've learned during the course of the transit. Sometimes we learn little lessons. I'm going to give you a little lesson. It could be about patience. Patience is a virtue. You could be a person that when you were younger, you didn't have patience. You had some life experiences where you might have went somewhere and there's a line wrapped around the block. Like, oh my. And you just an impatient person. I don't know, what could you be going to do? You may be going to get some assistance or sign up for school or something, but you walk away because you don't want to practice patience. And so what does that mean? Disciplinary act is pretty quick. You don't get in school. You don't get the assistance or the benefits or why ever you were standing in that line. You get a little older, life gets tight for whatever reason or whatever you're moving forward to do. You go somewhere else, you say, hot dog on, here's another very, 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 very long line or waiting period. And this time you're a little older, you're a little more mature. You may have come to understand, hot dang, if I don't sit down, wait, and practice patience, I won't get to see this doctor or this dentist or get this assistance or enroll in this class or whatever the case may be. And you learn to sit, you learn to wait. Now, understand, for those that don't learn to wait, have not figured out that patience is a virtue, there is a disciplinary act. And the disciplinary act is that you may not get what you need. Get what you need. Let's see. Example could be, they ain't trying to burn no bread on nobody. You go to the doctor, you get impatient because they got so many people. And that might be the doctor's appointment in which something is identified, like a tumor or something that they can deal with early detection, but you're too impatient to wait. Disciplinary act will be that thing will announce itself, and it may be more advanced and harder to deal with. where patience is a virtue. You sit, you wait, you get serviced, and you find out you have early detection, and therefore the cure may be more effective. This this is the kind of energy that we are dealing with, and so I just and it's for everybody. It's for everybody, and so I just gave some examples because I was having a difficulty explaining how I would like to have explained it, but that would take a lot more time. So I just want to let everybody know that the time that we are in, for some, will be difficult. And all it takes is for you to do what's necessary. Although it may seem very difficult, very hard, very challenging, very demanding, it might not be fun. But if you do what you're supposed to do, what is being required of you, if you have learned, you will minimize any disciplinary actions. And like, for example, this is what I really saw in the beginning. I was like, hot dog, this is a great time. This is an excellent time for Aquarius and Capricorn. Excellent. Next 2.5 years should be brilliant. Are they going to be event-free? Heck no, they're not. Again, it's going to be the same reoccurring things again. But for those that have learned, you know what to do and when to do it. And you're going to shut stuff down so quick. All those things that might be used to be a challenge or a struggle, something that you feared that led to depression, you go shut them down. And that's for all of us. You're going to shut it down quick if you have learned. And, you know, if you shut it down quick, then that opens the door for new experiences and many blessings. Because, you know, they say Saturn got blessings. It gives too, right? Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly and listen to me in this huddle. Bye.